You know the feeling. Your mind is constantly racing, projecting one catastrophic future after another. You worry about your job, your relationships, your health. You have already lived through a dozen different crises before your coffee is even ready, leaving you emotionally drained before the day has truly begun. Your mind has become a battlefield for wars that have not started, over territory that might not even exist. This is not just stress, it is a state of being. It is that low humming dread that has become the soundtrack to your life. You have tried to fix it, right? You have tried thinking your way out of it, finding the right app, or reading the right book, but the cycle just keeps going. What if the cure for this very modern problem was not modern at all? What if a Roman emperor, almost 200 years ago, laid out the exact blueprint to break this cycle of anxiety and find peace in the present moment? What if the man who ruled one of the most powerful empires in history, who stared down war, plague, and constant betrayal, developed a toolkit for mental resilience that is more relevant today than ever? This is not a history lesson. Think of this as a practical guide to taking back your mind from the chaos of the 21st century. The man we are talking about is Marcus Aurelius, the last of Rome's 5 good emperors. But more importantly, he was a philosopher, student of Stoicism. He never even meant to publish his thoughts. He wrote them for himself in a private journal we now call Meditations. This was not just theory for him, it was his lifeline. It was a series of exercises, reminders, and hard truths he used to govern himself, so he could then govern the world. The anxiety you feel, that feeling of being crushed by events you cannot control, is the exact same anxiety he felt. The only difference? He built a system to deal with it. System based on one simple, earth-shattering idea. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Over the next few minutes, we are going to unpack 8 of his most powerful principles. These are not just pretty quotes. They are battle-tested strategies for your mind. They are the ancient cure for your modern anxiety. Step 1. Control what you can control. First things first. The bedrock of all mental strength is this, the dichotomy of control. A philosopher named Epictetus, who heavily influenced Marcus, put it simply, some things are up to us, and others are not. What is up to us? Our opinions, our motivations, our desires, our actions, basically our own choices. What is not up to us? Well, pretty much everything else. Other people's opinions, the economy, the weather, getting sick, traffic jams, and whether or not your boss even notices your hard work. So much of our anxiety comes from one place, trying to control things that are, by their very nature, uncontrollable. We pour all this mental and emotional energy into worrying about outcomes we have zero direct power over. It is like trying to command the ocean to be still. It is exhausting, and it is pointless. Marcus was constantly reminding himself of this. He would say, "The chief task in life is simply this, to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself, which are externals not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control." So, how do we use this today? Think about your job. You cannot control if you get that promotion. You cannot control your boss's mood or the company's stock price. But you can control the quality of your work. You can control your professionalism, your integrity, and how you react to feedback. Put all your energy there. If someone leaves a nasty comment online, you cannot control their opinion, but you can control your response. You can ignore it, learn from it, if there is a grain of truth, or respond with grace. Your peace is not in their hands. It is in your choice of how to react. This is not about being passive. It is about being strategic. It is about stopping a war you cannot win, so you can focus on the one battlefield you command, your own mind. Step 3. Stop complaining. Complaining has become our favorite pastime. We do it to bond, to vent, to feel heard. But to a Stoic, complaining is choosing to be a victim. Every single time you complain, you are reinforcing a story of helplessness. You are telling yourself, over and over, that you are powerless to your circumstances. Marcus had a brutally simple take on this. Everything that happens is either endurable or not. If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it is unendurable, then stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well. This is not about bottling up your feelings. It is about making a choice between two paths, problem solving or suffering. Complaining is the language of suffering. It fixates on the problem, marinates in the injustice of it all, and looks for sympathy instead of a solution. Think about it. You can spend all your energy telling everyone how unfair your project is. It might feel good for a second, like letting off steam, but it changes nothing. In fact, it just digs the grooves of negativity deeper into your mind. The Stoic alternative is to change the question. Instead of, "I cannot believe this is happening to me," you ask, "Okay, this is happening. What is my next move?" This tiny shift moves you from being a passive victim to an active player in your own life. You do not have to like it. You just have to recognize that complaining is a waste of the one resource you have to fix it, your focused will. The next time you feel the urge to complain, just pause. Ask yourself, is this helping? Is this moving me toward a solution? Or am I just screaming that I'm powerless? Choose the language of action, not grievance. Step 4. The obstacle is the way. This next idea is one of the most powerful and counterintuitive in all of philosophy. It is captured in a single line from Marcus Aurelius. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Read that again. For most of us, an obstacle is a reason to get frustrated, anxious, and maybe even quit. A difficult boss, a failed project, a sudden setback. These things block our path, and our first instinct is to hate them for being there. We think the road to our goals should be clear and easy, but the Stoics saw it completely differently. For them, the obstacle is not blocking the path. It is the path. The obstacle is an opportunity sent from the universe to practice a virtue. That rude person, an opportunity to practice patience, a financial setback, a chance to practice resilience and creativity. That impossible problem, a chance to practice persistence. Every force that seems to be breaking you is actually giving you the exact friction you need to become sharper, stronger, and better. Without these challenges, you would remain soft and untested. Here is a modern example. You are launching a business, and a huge competitor suddenly appears. The normal, anxious mind freaks out. It is a disaster, but the Stoic mind sees it differently. The competitor is the way. Their presence forces you to be more innovative, to serve your customers better, to clarify your message. The obstacle, the competition, is the very thing that will forge you into a stronger company. So when you face a setback, your first question should not be, "Why me?" It should be, "What can I practice right now?" This reframes everything. It turns you from a victim of fate into a student in life's ultimate gym. The obstacle is not in your way. The obstacle is your way. Step 5. Stop looking for likes. In our world of social media, we have built a global economy on external validation. Likes, shares, and follower counts have become the new currency for self-worth. Repost a picture and then nervously refresh the page, our mood bouncing up and down with every notification. We have literally outsourced our self-esteem to strangers on the internet. Marcus Aurelius would have called this voluntary slavery. He wrote, "The happiness of those who want to be popular depends on others, but the happiness of the wise grows out of their own free acts." He constantly questioned the logic of seeking approval from people we do not even respect. He asked himself, you want praise from people who kick themselves every 15 minutes, the approval of people who despise themselves. When you hear it put like that, the whole chase seems ridiculous, does not it? For a Stoic, your value comes from one place and one place only, your own character. The goal is to build an internal scorecard based on your principles that you live by no matter what the world thinks. When your own opinion of yourself matters more than anyone else's, you become psychologically bulletproof. This does not mean you ignore other people. Stoicism is deeply social. It just means your actions are driven by your character, not by a need for applause. You do the right thing because it is the right thing, period, not because you are hoping for a digital thumbs up. The next time you go to post something, ask yourself, am I sharing this to contribute, or am I sharing this to get validation? Before making a decision, ask, am I doing this because it aligns with my values, or because I think it will make me look good? Build your house on the solid rock of your character, not the shifting sands of public opinion. Step 6. Discipline is your best friend, not motivation. Our culture is obsessed with motivation. We think we have to feel inspired before we can act. We wait for a magical wave of enthusiasm to carry us to the gym, or to that difficult task we have been putting off. And when that feeling never shows up, we stay right where we are, stuck. The Stoics would say we have it completely backward. Action comes first. Discipline is the engine. Motivation is just a fun, but totally unreliable passenger. Think about it. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. He could have spent every morning wrapped in luxury. But he wrote this to himself, trying to get out of bed. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of if I am going to do what I was born for? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? That is the voice of discipline. It does not care how you feel. It remembers its purpose, and it moves. The crazy part is, the action itself is what creates the motivation. You do not feel motivated, so you go to the gym. You push through it, and when you are done, you finally feel amazing and motivated. Momentum is born from motion. Discipline is the ultimate act of self-love. It is doing what your future self will thank you for, even when your present self is begging for comfort. It is about building habits that run on autopilot, so you do not have to waste energy making the same decision over and over. So stop waiting for motivation. It is a flaky friend and never shows up when you need it. Cultivate discipline instead. Just put your feet on the floor. Rise. The action will create the feeling you have been waiting for. We have just walked through an ancient operating system for the human mind, one designed for resilience in a world of chaos. These are not just ideas, they are tools. But like any tool, they are useless until you pick them up and put them to work. If this resonated with you, and you want to keep exploring practical philosophy for a better life, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And now, a question for you. Of these 8 principles, which one do you need to practice the most in your life right now? Is it letting go of what you cannot control? Is it kicking the complaining habit? Or is it remembering your time is finite? Leave a comment below and share which idea hit you the hardest. Just writing it down is the first step to making it real. A conclusion. We started with the problem of modern anxiety, that endless, looping nightmare of overthinking and catastrophizing. We have explored 8 timeless principles from a man who faced unimaginable pressure with calm and purpose. From the dichotomy of control to memento mori, the core message from Marcus Aurelius is this: the world outside you is not the source of your chaos, and so it can never be the source of your peace. Your peace is your own responsibility. It comes from mastering your inner world, your perceptions, your judgments, and your choices. You cannot control the storm, but you can become the unshakable calm in its center. Anxiety is a fire, and it is fed by our own untamed thoughts. By applying these Stoic principles, you are learning to become the master of that fire, to starve it of fuel and harness its energy for warmth and light, instead of letting it burn you down. The cure for modern anxiety is ancient, because the human mind really has not changed. You already have the power to discard your anxiety, because it was never outside of you to begin with. As Marcus himself wrote, "Today I escaped anxiety," or no, I discarded it, because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. Realize this, and you will find strength.